In justice we trust!
Most video game characters set out to solve some sort of mystery, but there are some protagonists that were born with a magnifying glass in one hand and a notepad in the other. Like our list of assassins, we wanted to focus on proven performance. What evidence do we have that these gumshoes are good at what they do? We also felt it prudent to exclude characters that became famous in other mediums first, despite the spectacular digital adventures of Batman, Dick Tracy, Sherlock Holmes, and Scooby-Doo. There's no case these 10 private eyes can't close.
Number 10. Cole Phelps.
A veteran of World War II, U.S. Marine Cole Phelps isn't afraid to spill some lead to get answers on the seedy streets of Los Angeles in 2011's L.A. Noire. The game's groundbreaking facial animation lets players catch suspects in a lie by studying their expressions and calling their bluff. Despite this advantage, Cole is kind of a screw-up. He puts more than one innocent man behind bars and eventually gets replaced by a totally different character, so we couldn't put him higher than number 10.
For the life of me, I can't remember a goddamn thing.
You're lying. You're gonna need to do better if you don't want to swing for this.
Number 9. Chun-Li.
The strongest woman in the world is also one hell of a detective, though you might not realize it without seeing some of her game endings and cameos. Working for Interpol to discover her father's killer, she takes down the international criminal organization Shadaloo and later a nefarious group called Sin. With the individuals she investigates often ending up catching a few lightning kicks to the face, Chun-Li is one detective you don't want to mess with.
You win! Number 8. Naoto Shirogane.
Many characters in Persona 4 work to solve the Midnight Channel murders in Inaba, but none do it with the same level of skill as Naoto. Nicknamed the Detective Prince, she comes from a long line of famous detectives. Of course, Naoto doesn't just get by on her well-regarded lineage. She's more deductive, critical, and crafty than the rest of her peers. Sure, she isn't old enough to actually be a detective, but age is really the only thing holding her back. Naoto already does a better job of solving cases than almost any officer in town.
You can't take my eyes off this match!
Number 7.
Objection!
Phoenix Wright.
There's a glaring contradiction in the witness's testimony.
By far the best-looking detective on the list, his unmovable hair, signature blue suit, and easygoing attitude may cause many to underestimate this brilliant sleuth. Wright doesn't officially hold the title of detective, but that doesn't stop him from investigating the numerous crime scenes associated with his cases. He has a near-flawless record as a defense attorney, clearing the names of his innocent clients and subsequently putting the real criminals behind bars. Like a true detective, he's never afraid to put his life or career on the line to uphold truth and justice, and has done so on numerous occasions. He's almost as clever as our next entry.
Hold it!
Number 6. Miles Edgeworth.
It's not on his business card, but Miles Edgeworth is definitely a detective. He scans crime scenes for evidence, interviews witnesses, and gathers an enormous amount of intel on defendants. Edgeworth spends just as much time combing for clues as he does raising objections in court. These aren't just small-time cases either. Edgeworth brought numerous murderers, smugglers, and other scum to justice. It may sound like a stretch when he stars in a series called Ace Attorney, but Edgeworth puts the pieces together with the best of them.
Number 5. Sonny Bonds.
Named after the son of series developer Jim Walls, Sonny Bonds is the protagonist of the first 3 Police Quest games and the finest cop in the fictional city of Linton. He started solving crimes in 1987, taking down a drug lord called the Death Angel and rescuing his girlfriend Marie from the clutches of psychotic criminals. His tour of duty began earlier than anyone on this list, and though his world may look crude by today's standards, he showed further generations of detectives how to seek out justice, one text command at a time.
Number 4. Tex Murphy.
Who's your mate?
Oh, that's Tex. He's having a very bad day.
That true, Tex?
Oh no, everything's just going peachy.
Tex Murphy is the cyber-noir gumshoe who turned a cornball script, Hollywood B-listers, and dumpster mutants into a bona fide case file any armchair PI would need to solve. Tex might thrive off of green screen shenanigans, but he's got a lot of heart and that keen observational wit that makes him as hard-boiled as he is hammy. With a new game around the corner, courtesy of Kickstarter, and his best available on GOG, Tex is one of the kings of the trenchcoat, with a fedora crown. And did we mention the actor who plays him is the game's director?
Well, let's see what kind of useful information I can get out of you before I try jogging your memory.
Number 3. Sam and Max.
Somewhere in the infinite blackness beyond the limits of human comprehension, an ancient, terrible power lies waiting.
This duo of a straight-laced canine detective and a sociopathic bunny have been solving crimes in point-and-click adventures since 1993. They may not be experts in forensics, but in their crazy cartoon logic world, bumbling around and cracking a good joke gets the bad guy more often than proper police procedure. And it's a lot more fun, too. Sam and Max actually began as a little-known comic book, so they were almost disqualified. But they really achieved fame and fortune in video games. So like a good detective, we're willing to bend the rules.
Max is all short-term memory. I have to bring him back up to speed every once in a while.
Ah! Giant talking dog!
Number 2. Professor Layton.
Professor, I hope this letter finds you well. As for me, I am in quite a predicament. I am writing to you from 10 years in the future.
He's truly a professor by trade, but Layton certainly knows his way around a good mystery, or 3. When a case seems particularly perplexing, Layton is called in to make sense of it, much to the annoyance of local law enforcement like Inspector Chelmy. Layton's a trained archaeologist, and his trademark top hat distinguishes him as a man of class, keeping his cool no matter how stressful the situation. Nothing leaves him undeterred, and if he needs to take an extra moment to ponder his situation, he simply recalls a riddle to get the old gray matter working.
The answer is out there, Luke, but I just need to find it.
Number 1. Sissel.
Solving a murder is elementary. Solving your own murder is something special. Sissel's hazy amnesia and poltergeist tendencies make him the most supreme detective on the list. He's not just deducing who did him in, but also trying to get to his past, and doing it all in 4-minute stints at that. While his non-corporeal form might not have the traditional detective trappings, this shock-headed investigator is ready to save the day, hitchhike across phone lines, and even time itself, to find the answers to one of the greatest mysteries in video games.